Part 1. The City of Rain. Seattle has a way of keeping secrets. The endless drizzle, the low-hanging clouds, the fog rolling in from Puget Sound. Everything seems to blur together, like the city itself doesn't want you to see too clearly. I always liked that about this place. When Emma and I moved into our apartment near Capitol Hill, I told myself the rain would wash away our past mistakes. She was radiant then, her laughter filling the small kitchen, the smell of coffee and toasted bagels in the mornings, the way she'd slip on her raincoat and blow me a kiss before heading to work. For the first few years, I believed in us. I believed in Seattle, in the way the city made us feel like we were starting over. But as time passed, the drizzle didn't just blur the city, it began to blur the line between truth and lies. Part 2. First Shadows. It started small. Emma began coming home later than usual. "Traffic was insane," she'd say, shaking the raindrops from her umbrella. Or she'd blame late meetings. At first, I didn't question it. Seattle traffic was brutal, and her job at a marketing firm demanded odd hours sometimes. But then, there were little things. Her perfume lingering too strongly when she returned, the way she'd check her phone at night, angling the screen away from me. One evening, while she showered, I noticed a new text notification flash across the screen. "Last night was amazing." No name, just a number. My chest tightened. When I confronted her about it, she brushed it off. "Probably spam. People get weird texts all the time," she said, drying her hair, her eyes avoiding mine. "Spam doesn't say that," I muttered. She laughed, a little too forced. "God, you're paranoid." I wanted to believe her. I really did. Part 3. The cafe window. I started watching her more closely. On Saturdays, when she said she had errands, I sometimes followed at a distance. Once, I saw her sitting by the window of a cafe in Belltown. She wasn't alone. A man leaned toward her, his hand brushing hers. She laughed, her eyes shining in a way I hadn't seen in months. I stood outside in the drizzle, staring through the fog glass, frozen. I couldn't make out his face clearly, but the intimacy was unmistakable. When she came home later that afternoon, she carried a bag of groceries and kissed me lightly, as though nothing had happened. That night, while she slept, I lay awake listening to the rain tap against the window, wondering when exactly I had lost her. Part 4. Pieces of the puzzle. Clues kept surfacing. A receipt in her coat pocket for a hotel bar near Pike Place. A strand of hair on her scarf that wasn't hers, too short, too coarse. A second phone charger hidden in her purse. I tried to bury my suspicions, telling myself I was imagining things. But the city itself seemed to whisper the truth in every shadow. Even our apartment felt different. Her laughter had grown rarer, replaced by long silences and the sound of her texting behind closed doors. One evening, over takeout, I asked, "Do you still love me, Emma?" She froze, chopsticks halfway to her lips. "Of course I do. Why would you even ask that?" "Because you're not here anymore." "Not really." Her eyes hardened. "You're imagining things. Maybe you're just unhappy with yourself." The words cut deep. Part 5. Confession by omission. One rainy Sunday, we took a walk around Green Lake. Couples jogged past us, families pushed strollers, and the air smelled of wet pine. I tried to bridge the distance. "You've seemed distracted lately," I said carefully. "I've just been stressed with work. You can talk to me, you know." She smiled faintly, but it didn't reach her eyes. "I know." Her hand slipped from mine as we walked, as if even the simplest contact had grown heavy. That night, I heard her in the bathroom, whispering into her phone. I caught fragments. "I miss you. Tomorrow, maybe." My stomach turned. Part 6. The Stranger. I finally saw him. Late one evening, I waited outside her office building. The rain slit the streets, neon lights reflecting in puddles. She emerged, umbrella in hand, laughing at something the man beside her said. Tall, sharp jawline, neatly trimmed beard, he wasn't just a stranger. He was someone she admired. They walked close, almost brushing shoulders, before disappearing into the underground parking garage. I stood across the street, soaked through, my heart pounding so loudly I could barely hear the traffic. I didn't confront her that night. Instead, I went home, sat in the dark living room, and stared at the framed photo of us on the mantel. Smiling, happy, innocent. That version of us was gone. Part 7. Cracks in the surface. The fights grew worse. "Why are you always checking up on me?" she snapped one night. "Because you're never really here." "That's ridiculous. You're smothering me. I just want the truth, Emma." She stormed out, slamming the door so hard the windows rattled. I sat there, listening to the rain hammer against the glass, realizing I no longer recognized the woman I had married. A week later, I found a necklace in her drawer, a silver chain with a small engraved heart. I had never given it to her. Part 8. The confrontation. It all came to a head on a Thursday night. She came home late again, smelling faintly of cologne that wasn't hers. I couldn't hold back anymore. "Who is he?" I demanded. Her eyes widened. "What are you talking about?" "The man from your office. The texts. The hotel receipts. Don't lie to me, Emma." For a moment, she was silent, her lips trembling. Then she whispered, "I didn't mean for it to happen." The words shattered me. Part 9. Breaking point. We argued for hours, her voice breaking, mine rising with anger I didn't know I had. She confessed pieces of the truth, how it started as late-night talks, how she felt, seen by him in ways she no longer felt with me. "I still love you," she said through tears. "Love?" I spat. "You destroyed us." She begged me to forgive her, to give her another chance. But every image of her with him, her laughter, her stolen glances, played over and over in my mind like a cruel film reel. Part 10. The rain never ends. I left. I packed a bag, walked out into the Seattle night, and let the rain soak me through. The streets glistened, reflecting the neon signs, the traffic lights, the shadows of strangers passing by. I didn't look back at our apartment window. Seattle had always been a city of rain, but now I understood. It wasn't about washing things clean. It was about learning to live with the damp, the gray, the weight of things you couldn't change. Emma's betrayal wasn't just hers. It was mine too, for ignoring the signs, for clinging to a ghost of us that no longer existed. As I walked through the empty streets, I realized I had lost her long before that night. And maybe, just maybe, beneath the endless rain, I would find myself again,